Bună seara, bună seara! Oficial este fix, deci începem. Între timp o să facem un mic test de sunet. Sper că mă auziți foarte de la bine în sus. O să rog și pe colega mea să ne confirme. Bună seara, bună seara! Bine ați venit! Să începem oficial. Așadar, bun venit la cel de-al doilea webinar pe care îl organizăm împreună cu partenerii noștri de la Raspberry Pi Foundation. Alături de mine, în chat și regie tehnică, se află colega mea, Adela Beca. Înainte de a o invita pe scenă oficial pe invitata noastră, pe Helen Gardner, managerul programului Coolest Projects, despre care vom vorbi astăzi, voi face eu o scurtă introducere în limba română, după care vom face tranziția către limba engleză. O scurtă prezentare despre noi, o să încep în curând. Între timp, agenda, astăzi vom vorbi atât despre resursele noastre, resursele asociației Techsoup, cât și programele pe care puteți să le accesați dacă sunteți învățători sau profesori de orice materie. Și după aceea vom vorbi despre competiția internațională Coolest Projects. Așadar, o scurtă prezentare despre noi, Asociația Techsoup. Pentru cei care nu ne cunosc încă, suntem un centru de resurse de tehnologie și experiențe de învățare a tehnologiei pentru organizații non-profit, elevi și profesori. Principalele programe pe care le derulăm se împart în două direcții mari. Societate civilă, prin care oferim acces la produse software, soluții digitale și training pentru organizațiile non-profit din țară și Republica Moldova, și educație STEAM, motivul pentru care suntem astăzi aici. În cadrul Predau Viitor, construim împreună cu profesorii din preuniversitar o educație informatică bazată pe probleme reale și creație de produse aplicată și transdisciplinară. Prin acest program conectăm profesorii de informatică și TIC și nu numai și la ecosistemul IT din România și din lume. Îndreptare digital este un program foarte drag nouă, început în 2017, pre-pandemie, special pentru învățători și elevii lor, cu scopul de a-i iniția în crearea de activități de învățare facilitate de tehnologie. Pe parcurs s-au alăturat în program și profesorii de la liceele pedagogice și elevii lor, viitori învățători. Așadar, dacă faceți parte din unul dintre aceste două programe, ne-ar bucura să ne spuneți pe scurt într-un comentariu despre experiența dumneavoastră, pentru a-i motiva și pe ceilalți profesori care ne urmăresc și care încă nu sunt în programe să se alăture. Comunitatea Techsoup pentru educație, care cuprinde cele două programe, Predau Viitor și Îndreptare digital, a ajuns la peste 20.000 de profesori și ne bucurăm să vedem cum această comunitate crește zi de zi. Pe măsură ce am crescut, am realizat că este nevoie de o platformă care să ofere agregat cursurile noastre gratuite online pentru această comunitate. Și astfel am lansat anul trecut, în octombrie, platforma de cursuri Predau Viitor. Așadar, încă o dată vin cu această invitație. Dacă nu faceți parte din comunitatea Techsoup pentru educație și încă nu ați accesat resursele noastre, vă invit să vă faceți și un cont pe Predau Viitor, platforma de cursuri, și să începeți să beneficiați de toate resursele noastre, care sunt online și gratuite. Iar acum nu vom mai sta foarte mult pe scenă, voi continua în limba engleză. And now I will invite Helen, our dear guest, Coolest Projects Program Manager, to take over and tell you all about the coolest competition, if I may make that joke, Helen. I'm sure you heard it a million times, and talk about other resources for teachers from the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Helen, you have the floor and the presentation.
Hi, everyone. It is so nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me talk to you today. My name is Helen Gardner, and I am the Coolest Projects Program Manager at the Raspberry Pi Foundation, which is quite a job title. And I manage everything to do with Coolest Projects, which is our series of showcases for young people to share everything that they do in digital making. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is Coolest Projects. I'm going to talk to you about what it is, how you can get involved this year in 2023, and why your students and the young people that you work with will love Coolest Projects. I'm going to talk to you for kind of roughly 25 minutes, half an hour. There'll be lots of time for questions, so you can definitely put comments and questions in the chat, and we'll get round to answering those. So let's get started. First of all, Coolest Projects, what is it? It is a celebration of young people and the amazing things that they make with code and with digital making. Coolest Projects is an online showcase which allows young people aged up to age 18 from anywhere in the world to share what they make with code and share it with other people. And the aim of Coolest Projects is really to inspire young people to keep creating, to make more things with code. It's to grow their confidence in digital making and coding. And it's there to encourage and reward them for all the incredible work they do in building these skills. I don't know if any of you have participated in Coolest Projects before, but I thought I would go over more of the basics in what it is. So we have this online showcase for young people, and young people submit projects that they have made with code at all levels. So it's everything from beginner to advanced, first projects, things in Scratch, coded with Python, anything in between is welcome for Coolest Projects. And young people can enter individually, or they can enter in teams of up to 5 people. And we have projects entered in 6 categories, so Scratch, web categories, games, mobile apps, mostly made using an emulator, hardware, and advanced programming. Projects don't have to be finished to be entered. So if your young people and students have started a project and not quite got it to work, we still want to see it, and we love to see a work in progress. So all projects are welcome, and it can be any young creator up to age 18. All Coolest Projects then work the same. Young people submit their projects, and the projects are shown in an online showcase gallery for all the world to see, which we'll have a little look at later, and I can show you some of the amazing projects we've already got for this year. And then the young people who participate get personalized feedback on their project from 2 judges from the tech and engineering and coding world. So we get some really great judges in to give them personalized feedback on their projects, which is always really encouraging. They get personalized certificates to recognize their achievement. And we also have some VIP judges who pick a few favorite projects to showcase as well. So it's all about getting young people inspired and engaged with coding and sharing what they've made. Coolest Projects is open to young people anywhere in the world. Last year in 2022, we had over 2,500 young people enter, and from 46 countries, including Romania, and young people enter projects in English. You can help them to do that. They can use Google Translate to translate their project. They can use subtitles if they're submitting a video. You can help them out. They can hold up written signs. There's loads of ways to do it. Projects are entered in English. And we can also help you with translation, which is an important thing to say. At the Raspberry Pi Foundation, we have an incredible community of volunteer translators who help us out translating lots of our materials and projects into lots of different languages. So if you've got something you'd like to submit to Coolest Projects and would like some help with translating it into English, you can email us at hello@coolestprojects.org, and we will link you up with our translation community and get your project translated into English. So, key dates for this year, that's what our online Coolest Project Showcase is. And here's when it's happening. So registration is currently open, which is the main thing. So registration is online at coolestprojects.org. And it closes on the 26th of April. So you still have a month to get your projects submitted. So registration closes on the 26th of April, and then on the 6th of June, we hold a celebratory live stream for the young creators, students, volunteers, mentors, parents, teachers, where we showcase lots of the incredible projects that we've received and share some of the favorites that judges have picked. And it's a nice live stream session for young people to celebrate all the amazing things that they have made and connect them to other people who also love coding all around the world. So those are the key dates for this year. I'll remind you again at the end about when registration closes, but registration is currently open and we'd love to see your projects. I'm going to pause here, Anna, if we've got any questions.
Not so far, but I will let you know maybe at the beginning.
If we've got some at the end, I can answer all your questions. So that is the basics on what Coolest Projects is. And now I'd like to talk about why it's great for you to get involved. We know from last year that young people and their teachers and mentors really value being involved in Coolest Projects. And what they told us was really cool about it was that it's any kind of project. So anybody can enter what they've made, what they're proud of, and have a go at sharing it. You get feedback on your project specifically. We know this makes a massive difference to young people, having specific feedback that's encouraging and supportive about their project so they can grow and build on it for next time. And because our projects go straight into the online showcase gallery, they can share projects with people around the world, and there's a special link for their project that they are then able to also share with their family, with their friends, share what they're proud of. So 94% of people, young people who participated last year, told us that participating made them more interested in programming and computing. So we know that showing your project to others, getting recognition, positive feedback, feeling valued and part of a community is really encouraging for young people who participate. So we'd encourage you to get involved as well. I think the main thing to say about participating is you do not have to create a special project from scratch that's going to take loads of extra time. Your young people can enter whatever it is they've made with code that they're proud of. So any existing projects, anything that they've been working on in class or with their friend, even if they did it much earlier in the year, if they're proud of it, it's still the Coolest project. So you can enter what they've made already. Teams can register a project even if it isn't finished. They can enter a project even if the code doesn't quite work. They haven't got it up and running. It's a showcase of ideas and creativity as much as the code and the technical digital making itself. So there's lots in there for them to do. And the registration process itself is pretty quick and easy. So the way to register, and again, I'll show you this at the end of the presentation, is we have a website that's coolestprojects.org. There's a registration form, and it takes 5 minutes maybe to register a project. If the project is a Scratch project, then you just upload the Scratch link. And if it's any other kind of project, you take a short video, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes of the project and the code that's in the project. And then if that's, you can put that on YouTube and then upload the YouTube link. And then we ask young people to answer 3 short questions about the project: why they created it, what was difficult, and what they'd do differently next time to get them reflecting on their learning about the project. So it's very quick and easy to enter a project. We often get mentors and teachers who get their class to upload what they've made at the end of a lesson. So it really is something you can do with young people in one session and then upload their project straight to Coolest Projects. So it's nice and easy to do. And then it's worth saying again, that projects really are welcome at all levels. So a lot of what the projects that we get are young people's first projects. So that could be their very first Scratch project, for example. Over 70% of the projects that we got last year were first Scratch projects, and we love those. Our judges love seeing them. They're fun and they're fantastic. So everything from basic projects through to advanced, all of it is welcome. And we've got 6 categories. So that again is web, games, mobile apps, Scratch, advanced programming and hardware, so that whatever the project is, if it's digital, if it uses code, there will be a home for it. You can find a category that fits. So that's how you actually upload your projects themselves. And then what I'd like to do now is spend a little bit of time showing you some of the incredible projects that young people have made this year, which is far more fun than me talking to you about it. So all of our projects go straight to the online showcase gallery, which means they have a home and they're visible to people all around the world. I'll show you the gallery, but you'll also be able to find it yourselves here on the website, which is online.coolestprojects.org, and then you can go straight to the gallery to have a play with the projects and see what's there. So I'm going to show you some examples. Can I share my screen, Anna?
Yes, please. Just before that, if you can address the question that keeps popping up about the age, if you can recap how old should the children be when they submit their project, because
so it's up to age 18, but there's no minimum age. So we have very first Scratch projects from children as young as 5 or 6 who've started doing digital making. So it's any age at all up to age 18. And we get an average age of kind of 12, 13, but we do also get very young children and all the way up to age 18. I hope that answers the question, Anna.
Yes, thank you. And now you can share, you can try sharing your screen.
Let's share my screen and we can have a go at...
Perfect.
We go. Great. So I want to show you around the online showcase gallery and give you some examples of the projects that young people create. So this is our showcase gallery. We've had over 800 projects submitted so far this year. That's kind of about nearly 2,000 young people already participating. And I want to show you some of the amazing projects that we've got today. So the first one that I love is a Scratch project called Dolly the Doll. And I know a lot of you will have done the Introduction to Scratch course recently with Techsoup. So if you've got Scratch projects that you're creating, please do submit them. And this is an example project where there's some nice code in here to interact with Dolly in Scratch. There's timers up here to feed her when she's hungry and thirsty. And it's a nice game to click around and play. This was submitted by Sarah in Ireland. And you can see from the project that there's a quick overview of the project and some instructions on how to use it. And then these are the 3 questions that we ask young people when they're submitting their projects. Why did you choose to make this project? What did you find difficult and how did you work it out? And what did you do next time? So these are the comments we get in here. And because it's a Scratch project, we can click through to Scratch and we can also see inside the project. So this is a nice thing that often we find when young people share their project, other young people get inspired by their code. So you can have a look inside the project and see how it works. But this has all been built by Sarah in Scratch to get Dolly the doll. What we do say is when submitting projects in Scratch, we ask that the comments are disabled. So comments are turned off, and then you just submit the Scratch link straight into the Coolest Projects Showcase gallery. So that was the first project that I wanted to show you in Scratch. I know a lot of people use Scratch and we love the projects. Another nice one that's come up is a Scratch favorite. So this project was submitted by Alara in Turkey, and it is, if I can play it, a catch the strawberry game where you use the arrows to move the ball around. I have been playing this quite a lot, and I have a high score of about 100 before it timed me out. So it's a really fun and simple game that is created in Scratch and uploaded straight to the showcase. And again, the young people answer a few questions about their projects. So what did they find difficult? Adding a start button, and how would they update it next time? So adding a game over button so that they have got some reflection on their own project and how they use it. So this is a nice project here from Alara. And again, we've got the Scratch link so we can have a quick look inside and check out how the code works and play around with it to understand that we've got showing our start button. So more catch the strawberry, which is nice. I have another project here that came in today, which is from Romania, from Daria. I'm not sure if this is somebody's student, maybe it is. If so, you should be very proud. This is a really fantastic project. So this is a lovely Scratch animation. Might come with sound, so I'm going to turn mine down so I'm not deafened. But it's a lovely animation from Daria about, with recorded voices, all about a future time machine to take them forward in space to find out what happens to the future of astronomy, which I absolutely love. So this is a really lovely project that came in today that I wanted to share with you. So this is a beautiful one. Again, it's a lovely animation in Scratch, and we can have a look at the project itself. And there's some nice notes in the code so we understand what's happening. This is one of the more complicated projects, so you can have a huge amount of code in here, but there's some lovely comments on here so that when the judges and other people are looking at the code, they can understand what's happening. So projects in Scratch can, for example, be a little bit more complicated like this one. So there's a full animation and a story to follow. But we also see, let's see that one, quite a few more basic animation projects, which are still lovely and great fun. This is a project from Selena and Ida in a code club in Turkey, where they've made a lovely Scratch project that shows us a ballerina, again, I think with sound. So it's just a really short animation using backdrops, sprites, sounds, the basics of code, but it's really personalized to them and a little story that they wanted to tell. So this is a nice one that shows the kind of, let's have a look at the code in Scratch. See how this has been made. That's just adding some sound, getting to grips with costume changes. So it's a nice, straightforward project, but has lots of personality and is great fun. That's a really nice one as well. So I've showed you lots of Scratch. So we do get a lot of Scratch projects and we love them. I know a lot of you work with Scratch, so we'd really encourage you to submit the projects that your young people work with to Coolest Projects. But we also get a whole bunch of different projects. So let me show you a nice one here. That's a smart alarm that was submitted by Yuhong in Malaysia. So we do get projects like this, hardware projects that, for example, have code in Python. I know some of you work with Python as well, and this is a nice example of a creative hardware project that shows us some of its code and how it's written. It wasn't, I won't show you the whole video because it's a few minutes long, but it's just to give you an idea of other kinds of projects that have been submitted to Coolest Projects. So I'll start and then I'll pick my favorite part, showing the alarm. So Yuhan tells us all about the problem of forest fires and then shows us the hardware that he's used to make his smart alarm to sense fires and the buzzer that goes off. And this was all done with code that was written in Python. So it's a really nice example of showing some of the hardware projects and the Python projects that people do. And again, there's a lovely description here of why he chose to make the project, given that it's a problem that matters a lot to him and his community. So house fires happening nearby, and then some reflection on why he made the project, including this part I really like. Thanks to my teacher and also to Google, everybody's friend when coding. This is the project that he made. So these are a few example projects of what you can make. So I'll stop sharing my screen now, Anna. I can head back to the slides. I'll pop these on. Great. So you've seen some of these projects. I can share these slides afterwards, so you can click through to all the links and explore the showcase gallery yourselves. We've had a little look at some of the lovely projects that have been submitted and their code. And if you are interested, I know that Techsoup have fantastic resources in Romanian about Scratch for getting started. And you can also look at the Raspberry Pi Foundation resources. So rpf.io/Scratch will take you to a selection of Scratch project resources that you can follow in English if you'd like some more help and inspiration. And this was our smart alarm. So you can see that for Scratch projects, you submit a Scratch link, and then any other kind of project, it's a short video, and then you can include the code. That could be through a little presentation in a slide like Yuhan's done in this video, or it could just be filming the code on another computer screen up close, so that we can have a little look at the projects and judges can see them. So these are some of the incredible projects that young people create. We love seeing them, other young people love seeing them, and it's a fantastic opportunity to share the projects. And we also have quite a few mentor resources for you to help you and your young people participate in Coolest projects. So on the website, I think I've got the address here somewhere, coolestprojects.org/guidance. There are quite a few mentor resources available to you. So we have a young people's workbook that covers the ideas, the stages of creating a project. So generating ideas, designing, creating, test and debug. And it step-by-step talks them through how to make a project. And linked to that, there are these slide packs that you've got screenshots of there, which you can use as a session in class or with young people that you're supporting. So sessions on getting started, on creating ideas, on coding their projects. There's lots there. And we also have a mentor workbook that is for mentors specifically with how to help their young people create their projects. So there's loads of resources online. And do also remember, this is all in English, but if you need any help with translation, get in touch with hello@coolestprojects.org. Send us an email and we can help you out with translation into English. So I think we can have a few questions in a minute, Anna, but just a recap from me, it is register for Coolest Projects. It's open until the 26th of April. So about a month left to submit your projects. You can register to take part at coolestprojects.org/take part. You can sign up to that Coolest Projects page to receive a newsletter as well if you want to keep in touch with us. And we are on Twitter and all social media on @coolestprojects. And you can always send me an email on hello@coolestprojects as well. I think that's been about 25 minutes. So let me know if there are any questions that I can answer for you.
Yes, thank you, Helen. We can stay with that slide in the meantime. So I saw that teachers were mentioning also Scratch Junior, if they can use that also. And also someone asked about Coder Dojo, but I think we answered in writing, but it's good to mention that yes, so any teacher, regardless of the subject they're teaching, can start a Coder Dojo or a code club with this opportunity in mind, with the competition in mind.
Absolutely. And if you are interested, if you run a code club or a Coder Dojo, or you would like to start one in your organization, Raspberry Pi Foundation has a lot of resources to help you do that. Get in touch with us, and we've got 2 teams who do a whole lot of that work.
And also you have, because we're talking about Scratch and Python, you do have a lot of projects in Romanian. So you have resources also in Romanian about how to create a project, and a specific project. So students can tweak an existing project on the Raspberry Pi.
Absolutely. And we get a lot of remixes of projects. So lots of students start with a starter project and then make it their own, switch things around, upgrade it. All of that is a perfect Coolest project. So if your students are playing with projects and remaking them, definitely submit them to Coolest projects. If you're working in Scratch Junior, submit Scratch Junior projects. That's absolutely fine as well. We love seeing those.
We have maybe it's I don't know how to answer this question, so I'm letting you answer it. Can the teachers where the students enroll with a project made in Lego Spike, with Lego Spike, if you know the Lego education sets?
Ooh, yes. If it's a digital project, got some code in it somewhere, I think we've seen a few Lego Spike. Absolutely, you could use those in Coolest projects.
Perfect. So yes, you can. The answer is yes, you can enroll in Lego Spike. Yes. I don't see any more questions from teachers, but in the meantime, maybe they are still processing some questions. I want to ask you something. So, in your opinion, what soft skills does this competition I don't know make for students?
Yeah. Lots of soft skills for young people. So projects, when they are submitted, they are reviewed for things like communication. So if a young person has done a video explaining their project, or they've written a description for their Scratch project, that's helping them express their ideas, be really straightforward about talking about what they do in a way that they can share with other people. So it's really helpful for building communication skills. We know that young people who participate in teams get a lot from working as part of a team. So building a project together, working with other people to create ideas, there's some real great teamwork there that they can learn from. And we also know something that's really important as part of building successful coding skills in young people is resilience. So working towards a project that you're going to submit to something, and having that project inevitably not work, testing your code and it's broken, having to debug your code and find out what's wrong, having to find the answer yourself. So not understanding why something is going wrong, asking your friends, asking a teacher, asking Google. All of these things builds resilience, which is we know what coders need to have successful digital careers. Every single time it doesn't work, that's a useful thing to learn on. So doing that test and debug phase is a really useful skill to build.
And maybe extending this discussion, it's important to mention that teachers do not need to have coding abilities and skills to propose this competition to their students, to their pupils.
Absolutely not. So I have no coding skills. I can't code, but I volunteer at my local Coder Dojo with the Raspberry Pi Foundation, helping young people to learn to code. And I have lots of young people who registered for Coolest projects. With Scratch, for example, you can start with some great basic tutorials that the young people can work through, and you can work through with them at the same time. So I have learned a lot from the young people who are coding projects. You don't have to know how to code. No technical knowledge is required. It's just being supportive and creating the environment for young people to be creative and play with these digital coding projects.
Mm-hmm. And maybe for those teachers, I don't know if you have an encouragement for those teachers that are afraid of a lot of mistakes on the way and just afraid that maybe the pupils would know more than them. What would you encourage them to do?
So I don't ever think it's a bad thing if the young people know more than you do. I think that's amazing. I think it's really beneficial for young people when you ask them, if something goes wrong and they ask you to fix it, and you say, I don't know how to fix it. What do you think? That's fantastic. It makes them feel really empowered, and it encourages them to be creative with coming up with solutions. And it means that you can learn with them and they know how learning works. So you make mistakes, you figure it out. And then if you're doing coding projects in things like Scratch, there are such good resources and training out there. So I have been teaching myself Scratch. It's really fun. Would recommend to everyone who doesn't do it. So you can absolutely teach yourself. It's basic skills you can learn with the young people, and learning alongside them is great for them and it's great for you.
Mm-hmm. So thank you for this encouragement. I don't see any more questions, but I think it was a short and nice wrap up. We did an invitation because that was the point of this live, just to invite teachers to enroll as many, help enroll as many pupils they can, because it's a cool competition and it builds a lot of skills, like you said, not only coding skills, but also teamwork skills, so soft skills.
Yeah. And if you have any more questions that you think of after the session, we have a look. hello@coolestprojects.org is me, and I can follow up with you, test things out, check if they work. We've got help and support available, so get in touch if you want to get involved.
Perfect. So thank you, Helen, very much for this live, and I'm sure some teachers will reach out, or a lot of teachers will apply after seeing this live, or the registration of the live of the. I forgot the English word, but
registration is live. Register now. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It's been really, really nice to talk about it today.
Thank you. And către cei care ne-au urmărit, mulțumim încă o dată și veți avea această resursă disponibilă, înregistrarea, asta e cuvântul pe care nu îl găseam, și suntem și noi aici pentru orice ajutor. Vă amintim că veți găsi pe cursuri.predauviitor o mulțime de cursuri online gratuite, mai ales cursul de introducere în Scratch, introducere în Python și alte cursuri care vă pot fi de ajutor. Mulțumesc, seară bună, thank you Helen, and good night, goodbye.
Thanks.